So I'm back again. I've decided that yes, I will keep recording videos because it does me good. And today actually I'm going to be doing a review of sorts while also speaking about how I'm feeling and how I've been in general in terms of my eating disorder. So essentially I guess you could say that my binge eating has definitely not gone away. It's been very regular. I mean, actually before recording this, I binged quite badly. So it's actually, I think it's a first for me to record something having literally just binge. I mean, I'm a bit flushed, you might be able to see from the video. Obviously, overeating can make you too hot, and it's pretty warm today anyway, and yeah, it's definitely hit me now. The thing actually I want to review, it's actually like a blood test kit. Literally just tests basic things like vitamin D and all that kind of stuff. When I tend to review stuff, I mean, it's usually a brand has reached out to me and that they want me to try out their stuff, but to be fair, 99% of the time, a lot of those kind of things anyway are sort of like, oh, try out our diet tea, and obviously I'm not into that kind of thing. But when I was scrolling down Facebook, I actually saw an advert for these guys, and I just thought, the slogan kind of got me. It's good marketing, to be honest, because it was take control of your health. And I suppose that's exactly what I need to be doing. And when I just investigated a little bit more, I thought that it sounded pretty good. The test that I've been sent was sent to me for free for me to try out, and I have got a discount code, but of course we'll test it all out first. I mean, I think it'll take a few days for the results to come back anyway, so you won't actually see, well, you'll see it all in one video, but this particular thing will be all part of a longer process. So yeah, I literally reached out to these people and I was like, I've been binge eating and I have a blog and I do this kind of stuff, and I was actually quite worried about what was happening to my body. And to be honest, getting doctor's appointments now is actually incredibly difficult in my area, so I thought, why the hell not? Let's reach out and see what it's like. So this is the stuff. It's called Thriva. As you can see, take control of your health, and you have to register your kit online, so I've done that already. You had to enter just basic things like your email address, but also your mobile number, so they can text when results come through. But then you also have to put in things like your height and weight and any pre-existing medical conditions. So obviously if you aren't comfortable disclosing that to people online, obviously there's no real reason to worry about what they're doing with your data, but obviously if you're concerned about that, then that's something to consider anyway. So here we have the kit, and you just open it like this, and obviously with me being a little bit easily amused, when I first got this I was somewhat stuck just doing this over and over because it is pretty cool. But yeah, that's just a pretty simple thing, but you know, it's nice to see a polished piece of packaging. Here we have the instructions on one side and then preparation and sample to send on the other side. You actually have to prepare and send your kit on the same day. So I'm not going to be sending it this evening, it's actually about 8 PM now, so of course can't get it sent off today. But I will be checking out the instructions so that tomorrow morning I can do it straight away. So here we can see the instructions. As it says, you need to do the test Monday to Friday, so you can send it the same day. So as you can see, use a lancet just to prick the end of your finger, so you're not using a needle to draw blood as such. It is free post, then you don't have to pay to send back your kit. So just before I do the test tomorrow, here is, oh no, that didn't go well, don't want it going on the floor. Back to where we were. We have cleansing wipes, that'll be the alcohol wipe. Plasters. Oh, this is the alcohol wipe. Oh, these are wound cleansing. This is for afterwards. And there's the lancets as well for piercing. It's little yellow tubes. I've got to follow the yellow tube instructions because there was one for yellow and one for purple. Oh man, I'm really determined to drop these. And then in the other bit, there's the envelope, I assume, to send off. I quite like the packaging, by the way. Oh man, dropped it again. Yep, there's where you put the completed sample. You put that in there because obviously it's blood, and some people could have infectious diseases in their blood. And then there's the form here to fill in. I could fill that in now. And then this is the form you have to fill in that you go and put with your sample. It's obviously very similar to what the online system has, so they can match up your blood test with your online account to get your results. So I'm now just soaking my hands in hot water before I get ready to take the sample. And you're meant to do this for 2 minutes, but I'm going to do it for 3. Okay, so here we have the kit. I'm just going to read the instructions again. So it's Thursday today, so I can send it off the same day. I need to get the tube, and obviously you leave the lid right there. Just take off the end like that. It is spring loaded, so obviously then you don't see a needle as such. Got my tissue at the ready as well. So get the lancet, put it down on the table, and you just press it like that. That wasn't too hard. Obviously, I won't let you see this. If you don't like blood, I will have put a warning up. But yeah, this is the yellow cap, so I had to fill it above the top line, and then I inverted it 10 times, but it said not to worry if it's clotted, because it does take 5 to 10 minutes to fill. Don't know why I wrote AM, because obviously a 24-hour clock doesn't need AM, but whatever, just for clarity. I put that AM on there, and also I've got my label, which I can take off now. So once you've got this, you just put it halfway to get it round there, and you sort of roll it around a little bit. And then you apply the label. I could have done that better, but yeah, basically you just want it like a little tag so they can read it, but there we go, that's better. So you can read it, but it doesn't get stuck on anything. Again, could have done that better, but I'm not someone with great physical dexterity. So along with the form, putting these in this bag, peel off this. And fold that over. So I've got the return form, and I've also got the blood collection tube in there. So now I can send it off, so I'll just put it in the post box at the top of my row, because it's just free post. Okay everyone, so I've got my results now. I actually got them a few days ago, but I've only just got around to being able to do a recording. But I sent in my results I sent in my blood test on Thursday. Then on Friday I got a message in the morning that they'd received it. And then Friday evening I got a message saying that my results are ready. As you can see, you get a sort of basic overview. That's the test. I've done the baseline test. My lipids are okay, liver function's okay, iron profile's okay, but it's my vitamin D that they've highlighted here. And they're saying to focus on diet and exercise, but in my opinion that's fairly generic. You can do more than one test, and they will plot it over time, and in 3 months' time I will be doing another one of these tests, so this part will be more useful then, because I'll be able to see if it's changed, and of course. Okay, so Ashley, most of your results are normal and all of them look fine. Despite your good results, keep trying to work on your eating disorder. Based on your answers, and just to make sure we both understand each other on the essentials of the type of diet and exercise that is needed, I provided some suggestions just to keep you motivated. So as you can see, I've got my cholesterol results. Let's just pop me down here for a moment. LDL, that's the low density lipoproteins. We've got just general cholesterol, that's what gets put in your cell membranes. Triglycerides, that's the free, they're not fatty acids, because triglycerides are fatty acids plus glycerol, but basically it's all the fats just wobbling around in your blood. That's a good thing as well, because obviously they provide energy. HDL is high density lipoprotein, and then the cholesterol ratio is the important thing because it's the ratio of HDL to LDL. So you can see the average is more in the unhealthy range, but as I guess would be with this kind of thing, like the people who take these kind of tests, they will be concerned about their health in some way. So maybe that's why maybe they're looking at their cholesterol for whatever reason. Yeah, low density lipoprotein. Bad cholesterol because it can clog things up. One thing that's important to mention though is my mum. She told me that basically our family, we've got just a genetic propensity to have good cholesterol. So as well, it might not be so much due to my diet, it might just be that my family's lucky. Yeah, because you would think with how much weight I've gained in such a short period of time, what with binging, that it might go up a lot quicker, but it was a relief when I saw that like things like my cholesterol hadn't gone crazy. Normal, little miss normal. This is just the total amount, so it's LDL plus HDL. So again, it's on the lower side. Like my mum said, it might just be genetic. I was more interested in triglycerides actually, because the night before I did this test, I binged. So I was kind of wondering what it would come up as. I mean, if I remember correctly, did I have breakfast before I did the test? I don't think so. I think I did. You have a normal profile in spite of a not so healthy lifestyle, and it's worth being aware that your profile may become abnormal. So although I'm 18 at the moment, and of course, sorry if you can hear the chainsaw. By the way, one of my neighbours is like a handyman. Yeah, so even though I seem to have got off quite lightly at the moment, it might not always be that way, and obviously binging is no more healthy than restricting ever was for me. So, okay, so then this is liver function. Alkaline phosphatase. So it's raised levels are usually caused by damage to the liver. And it's not in the unhealthy range, but it's still higher than average. So that's interesting. I guess again, it's one of those things you just need to take note of, and if it changes is more important perhaps than what it is at the start. Okay, gamma GT, I have no clue what this is. Gamma glutamyl transpeptidase. It's found in the liver, and it's also increased when there's liver damage. Well, that's much lower than the other one, so again, that could be okay. I mean, I guess the most important things with these kind of tests, I think, if you're just sort of checking it out because you're curious, obviously, as I said about if you're doing it regularly, you could find the trends. And then if you spot something, you could potentially get to a doctor before any problems actually start. Or you could even implement changes to your lifestyle beforehand. And I think that can only be a good thing. Obviously, this test, although I got it for free, it's not free generally. In fact, let's just have a quick look at the price now. And this is £49 per test. And with my 50% off code, then that would be $24.50. I mean, obviously, if you're wanting to check things out, it can be quite a useful thing. Obviously, if you have any immediate concerns and you're living in the UK, for example, you can go to the NHS. But I personally think this is really, really interesting, because whenever I've been to the doctor, it's been a real pain to actually get to look at the results, and not to mention getting an appointment now. I had a telephone appointment with a doctor recently, and it literally took 3 weeks to be able to speak to them, even on the telephone. So if you've got any real concerns, the fact that I got my test and I got the results in less than a week, I think that's pretty good actually. So it's obviously something you need to balance with other things. But anyway, let's continue having a look at things. Oh wow. Serum glutamic pyruvic transaminase. Alanine aminotransferase. I love these names. It's like the people have just gone. They're just trying to come up with a name. I mean, obviously, this is a baseline test, but there's other things that you can get tested for, both on here and just in blood tests in general. I mean, for example, this isn't checking my white blood cell count and stuff like that. It's not testing estrogen, it's not testing testosterone, it's not testing even things like celiac disease and stuff like that. So if you have general concerns, it may be best to go to the doctor, but I do like how detailed this is. This is iron. Okay, so generally speaking, if your iron level is low, then your TIBC will be high. So they are measured together to give an overall picture of your iron status. So mine is normal. My iron level is also normal. I mean, what I find interesting about this then is that I've not been having periods for the last few months either. I mean, I've struggled with amenorrhea in the past, but then it went away because I gained weight from binging actually. It helped bring things back into order a little bit, and my estrogen went up and stuff. But now I have no clue what my estrogen or testosterone looks like now. But my periods have gone again, and it might be stress because of school, or it could be the fact that I've gained more weight since my periods came back and I'm now above what was helpful. So we'll see about that obviously in the longer term, and I can talk about that in other videos. But often if your iron levels are low, it could stop periods from occurring, and equally if you're having periods and your iron is low, it could deplete it even more because obviously you're losing blood then as well. Right, but this is the one that's borderline. And the reason I'm particularly concerned about this is because it's borderline and I'm already supplementing vitamin D3. And although I am quite pale, I do go outside and I do enjoy being outside a lot. I'm much more freckly than my webcam seems to be showing. Slightly low. Even though I've been going outside, even though I've been supplementing. So that suggests if I hadn't been supplementing, it would be even lower. But obviously it's nowhere near as low as some people's vitamin D can get to, but I might go and speak to the GP about this because obviously I'm already supplementing it, so there could be an issue as per how much I'm supplementing or whether or not I'm actually absorbing it at all. Okay, and here are the recommendations, obviously apart from the vitamin D supplementation. It's suggesting that I improve the quality of my diet and maintain levels of exercise, and says do physical exercise at least 3 times per week. I mean, I do weight train and I do try to do my steps. I do aim for 10,000 steps, although recently I've actually been trying to go for less because I find it's just fatiguing me so much just walking, whereas I find anaerobic training much more helpful. Obviously, we all know from looking at my YouTube and my Instagram and stuff, they're obviously struggling with binging. I've been struggling with the quality of my diet somewhat. I mean, here it's the sort of general advice from the NHS about reducing saturated fat intake and such like, and increasing the intake of monounsaturated fats. Oh, sorry, I'm not yawning because it's generic advice. I'm just yawning because I'm a bit sleepy. Sorry about that. Yeah, whole grain varieties of food, reduce sugar intake, and food products containing refined sugars, including fructose. I mean, I'm not sure I entirely agree with some of these things. For me, I think the most important thing is getting the absolute basics, which is just not to binge. Because obviously then I'd be having excess of everything because I'm just having too many calories. But obviously, perhaps in the longer term, we'll consider things like sugar. But for the meantime, my teeth are okay. And as a whole, my results seem all right. Okay, so I'll just cut off this video now. Overall, I think it was a really interesting experience for me. I definitely think it was a very streamlined process. I mean, although I was a bit clumsy when I was piercing my finger and stuff, it was a very streamlined experience.
and they made it very easy. And I can see why people would do this instead of going to a doctor's surgery. I mean, because I swear, like every time I've been to a doctor's, I've come out with feeling more ill than when I went in, because obviously people waiting in the waiting room usually aren't very well, and stuff like that. It was very convenient, very quick, and to be honest, it's not uncommon if I'm having a blood test at the doctor's for it to take 2 months for me to find anything, if anything's changed. And if you're really struggling with your health, you don't want to be waiting that amount of time to get a result. Obviously, as I've said, it's up to you to decide whether or not you think it's worth your money. But you can get 50% off using Balanced 50. As for other videos, I'll be doing some more soon. I don't tend to do videos on the computer like this, but I hope you found it interesting.